Guys, welcome to ISekisi with Sydney SA. It's a weird name, I know. But I'm pretty much sure you guys already know what's exactly we're going to be talking about today or on this platform. Actually, we're going to be talking about ucansi, sex. Sex-related topics, sex-related conversations. Guys, I'm still new to this, so please bear with me. I know probably today I might bore you or something, but please kindly bear with me. Alright, so Angzon Moshe's Kati. I want to talk about one of the topics today, which are largely amongst the black people we don't talk about. As you know, Tinamata Miyama as blacks, Salhloni Bugans. So, guys, we're going to take a journey together once a week, each and every week, each and every Thursday. It's just to talk about various things, educating each other and also entertaining each other. Sikhuluma kanjalo guys, sikhuluma ngocansi, and sikhuluma basically ngala topics that saba ukukhuluma ngawo. Saba ukukhuluma ngawo nabangani bethu, with our partners, with nje everyone. Lasagcina kuthina. So today or this week, we'll be taking a step into fantasies and fetishes that we all have, guys. So I'd like to thank everyone who knows fantasy, guys, or a fetish. Even if singazi mhlambe sikhulume ngayo or mhlambe uyasabana nokukhuluma ngayo, nje especially us thina ndlu emnyama, we are afraid to talk about those things. Thola kuyihlazo ukuthi ukhuluma nje mbaba or baba ngocansi or nje ukhuluma nami kanjani ngocansi. So like you guys, izinto lezi of which you have thought about nje, have you ever thought of yourself playing with that cucumber on that fridge? Move the fridge into swam and you freak nice cut as a cucumber. What do you think? You're freaked a little carrots, Leon. Who's it going to name time? What do you think? Yeah, but my thoughts are cool now. Understand? You thinking having threesome with twins? So basically, since this day isn't fun. I'll try to explain the difference between fetish and sexual fantasy. It was really hard for me to find anything online where they were mixing things up, but I tried, guys. I tried to cleansing nako ngitholile and nagma sources ngitholile. And what I noticed clearly, some people don't know the difference between both of these things. Understand? Mangboza around abanye abantu, understand? You only find out which actually doesn't have a clear understanding on what exactly is a sexual fantasy and what exactly is a sexual fetish. So I'll try and break down these two things. I'll try with sexual fantasy. Yeah, guys, we all want to go the extra mile to keep the hit going in the relationship, and sexual fantasies are great at and can be surprisingly interesting, getting to know what your partner desires and fantasies are. Just to know your partner, you know, guys, don't be afraid to talk about those things, and it's absolutely healthy when it doesn't endanger you or your partner's life. And again, when it comes to a fetish, so this is the weird part when it comes to a fetish. Fetish is when the sexual arousal occurs from a situation or object unrelated to sex or intercourse, but strangely or not brings pleasure to someone. We can mention as example heterosexual men, straight men, who like to wear the lingerie of a farmer paint imagery of their partners, and this is one of their of many that I'll describe further later. Therefore, the fetishist feels sexual pleasure even when not performing the act itself. therefore, there's no explanation for what causes the fetish, but whatever is causing the fetish, it's sex control of the individual's sexuality. I want to take note of this. A much easier way and a much more creative to explain the fetish which was given to me by my fellow mates, which I was talking about once again, it can be considered as the opposite of an uncontrolled phobia, like spider, heights, claustrophobia, and therefore as a psychosickness. Understand? And it can be considered as a psychosickness if the person cannot have pleasure unless he makes use of a specific fetish. So to clarify a few misunderstandings that happen regularly between a thing and another. You know, when someone asks you if you have a fetish and you answer yes, and you think your fetish is a fantasy. Oh, let me just take you through this. Let's start with sex with stranger. Although people insist that this is a fetish, guys, sex with a stranger is actually a fantasy. You understand? One of the favorites and probably one of the most used having sex with a stranger, most top women's list. Kunkosikazi or umuntu wesifazane ongayithandi parts let us start with sex with stranger. Although people insist that this is a fetish, guys, sex with a stranger is actually a fantasy. Akuyona a fetish. One, and abantu besifazane abaningi bayithanda kabi parts le inje, it makes top on women's list. Let us go to a threesome or a mosam. Another fantasy commonly confused with fetish. Having sex with two men or two girls, if you are open-minded enough to do that, unamandla, is also one of the favorites, especially for women. Some there to go further, and after realizing the threesome, want to go to a swing club or together, a few couples who have the same interest and have group sex. But in most of the cases, by somebody or partly, only few is been to do that, to find themselves with a threesome or mosam or swing clubs or gang sex, understand, my group sex. And then another one is public places. Oh, public places. Probably everyone you ask will say, hell yeah, to sex in a public place. Like toilets or elevators, hell yeah. And guys, and you know, guys, guys love to think about a well done and surprising blowjob while driving on a highway, if they're driving. You know, the risk of being caught makes the idea of sex in public extremely appealing and exciting. Danger is powerful, and this fantasy is one of the most requested among couple. And it is lingerie. Lingerie. But lingerie. This is probably the favorite fantasy of every man in the planet. Ningang Piggy is my dad. His girl, lover, wife, whatever, dressed with a lingerie that screams sexy, delicate, daring, and feminine, all in one. Nje, I'm actually tired. But okay, let me just go to this one. It's high heels and stocking. This combination can be considered as a fetish. if we consider that a handful of men only can have pleasure in sex if the woman is wearing, if not both, at least one of them. It is a fetish. You went on this one of high heels and stockings. You normally, most of you guys like this actually, but you didn't know it's a fetish. Why probably you guys wake up and then nje quick esheshe bo ta nje umuntu sagqokile and everything, but sen shout one uqala phele kanjalo yabo. You're doing high heel and stocking fetish, but today you know. This would be the last one. My fetish. This fetish is surprisingly common, and close to 90% of fetishists are men. Yeah. And this is about to cut in years on this person or so partner bars. Depends. To give the land. But when this is about tender, those people who most of the time who are dominant in that relationship, you want about tender to kota inyao. Understand? So yeah guys, basically today this so kulumanga fetish and fantasy. I know guys I bored you. I'm sorry, but I can assure you, next week Thursday I'm gonna give you a perfect one. I'm gonna give you a good one. I'll be well prepared. Yeah, and I can assure you I won't bore you. By the way, my name is Sydney, and this was ISekisi with Sydney. #Thirsty Thursday. See you next Thursday.